trauma responses activated by health uncertainty: fight, flight, freeze and fawn. Hi, I'm DrTonyWeston on the beautiful island of Santorini. Today we're going to talk about how waiting for potentially serious medical news can activate deep emotional and trauma responses. For many people, waiting for medical test results triggers not only anxiety and fear, but also trauma responses: fight, flight, freeze or fawn. Understanding these responses and how they impact you during uncertainty is key to managing them and finding peace, even in difficult times. So, what are trauma responses? Trauma responses are survival strategies that the body and mind develop to cope with perceived threats. These responses, fight, flight, freeze and fawn, are deeply rooted in our biology, designed to help us navigate danger. But when we're waiting for medical results, our brain might interpret this uncertainty as a threat, even though you're not physically in danger in the here and now. This can activate those same trauma responses. For example, if you've experienced trauma in the past, such as a health scare or emotional loss, the waiting period for medical results can bring up feelings of powerlessness or fear, triggering your body's survival mode. So, understanding each trauma response, let's take a closer look at each trauma response and how it might show up when we're facing health uncertainty. Firstly, fight. This response prepares us to confront the threat head on. During medical uncertainty, the fight response may manifest as anger or frustration. We might feel impatient, constantly seeking answers, or demanding immediate action from our healthcare providers. While this can sometimes be helpful in advocating for ourselves, it can also lead to burnout or strained relationships if it becomes overwhelming. 2. Flight. The flight response urges us to escape the situation. When waiting for test results, this might look like avoiding the issue entirely. We might distract ourselves with constant busyness, avoid checking our phone or emails for updates, or engage in compulsive activities to escape the fear. This response can temporarily reduce anxiety and may prevent us from processing the emotions we need to face. 3. Freeze. The freeze response occurs when we feel stuck, unable to act. This might manifest as emotional numbness or a sense of paralysis, where we feel overwhelmed by the waiting and can't seem to make decisions or take any action. We might feel like we're shutting down emotionally, detaching from ourselves or others as a way to protect ourselves from the fear of the unknown. 4. Fawn. Finally, the fawn response involves appeasing others or minimising our own needs to avoid conflict or fear. In medical uncertainty, you might find yourself agreeing with whatever is suggested without questioning it, or we might find ourselves prioritising others' needs over our own, even when we're struggling emotionally. This response often stems from a desire to maintain peace and avoid confrontation, and it can leave us feeling even more powerless. Why trauma responses are amplified during uncertainty. So why are these trauma responses amplified when we're waiting for medical results? When we face the unknown, especially in the context of health, our minds often associate this uncertainty with past traumas, whether it's a fear of loss, abandonment or helplessness. The brain connects the current situation with unresolved emotional wounds. Waiting for test results can feel like a loss of control, which for those of us with a trauma response is one of the most triggering experiences. It taps into that deep-seated fear of not being able to protect ourselves or those we care about. 4. Recognising our own trauma responses. Awareness is the first step in managing trauma responses. The next time we find ourselves feeling overwhelmed by the waiting period, take a moment to ask yourself, which trauma response am I experiencing right now? Am I feeling angry or frustrated? The fight response. Am I avoiding the situation or distracting myself? The flight response. 3. Do I feel stuck or emotionally numb? The freeze response. 4. Am I putting others' needs before my own or minimising my own fear? The Fawn response. Identifying your response can help you approach it with more self-compassion rather than judgment. These responses are not wrong or bad, they're just natural reactions to feeling out of control. So how to manage trauma responses during uncertainty? So let's talk about how to manage these trauma responses when they come up. Firstly, managing the fight response. When you notice anger or frustration rising, try engaging in calming activities like deep breathing, progressive muscle relaxation, or journaling. These techniques can help you release pent-up energy without lashing out or burning out. Secondly, managing the flight response. If you find yourself avoiding the situation, try to face your fear in small, manageable steps. Set aside a specific time to check your emails or reflect on your feelings. Gradual exposure to the discomfort can help reduce avoidance behaviours. 3. Managing the freeze response. When you feel emotionally numb or stuck, try grounding techniques. Focus on the sensations in your body. Feel the weight of your body on your feet on the ground or the texture of something in your hand. This helps bring you back to the present moment and reduces the sense of paralysis. 4. Managing the fawn response. If you notice yourself prioritising others over your own emotional needs, practice setting boundaries. Remind yourself that it's okay to take up space and express your own fears. Consider seeking therapy to work on asserting your needs in a safe and supportive environment. Trauma-informed support during uncertainty. For those who have experienced significant trauma, managing these responses on your own can feel overwhelming. Trauma-informed therapy can be incredibly beneficial in helping you navigate these moments. Therapists trained in trauma care can help you process the emotions that come up during uncertainty and offer you strategies to stay grounded and connected to the present. Additionally, practices like grounding exercises, mindfulness, and self-compassion can be incredibly helpful tools to calm our nervous system and manage these automatic responses. So, in conclusion, here are some final thoughts. Living in uncertainty, especially when waiting for medical news, is one of the most challenging experiences we can face. And by understanding our trauma responses, whether it's fight, flight, freeze or fawn, you can learn to manage these reactions with compassion and care. Remember, these responses are natural. They're your body's way of trying to protect you. By becoming aware of them and practicing techniques to soothe yourself, you can navigate uncertainty with more resilience and inner strength. Thank you for joining me today. As you continue on this journey, know that you have the tools to manage whatever comes your way. See you next time. Don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell for more tools and insights on managing uncertainty, trauma responses, and building emotional resilience. Share this video with someone who might benefit from understanding their own trauma responses during challenging times.